Welcome to the Blind Android Users channel. This is your source for everything Android, tutorials and demos, all from a blindness perspective. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content like this.
Hello and welcome to episode 81 of the Blind Android Users podcast. I'm Ed Green and I'm joined today by my co-hosts Warren Carr and Austin Pinto. And we are coming to you on Saturday, the 25th of June, 2022. On the show this week, we have our usual announcements brought to us by Austin. We're going to look at the next category of settings in the Settings app, and this week it's all about those display settings. We'll then have an app of the week from Warren, and that is the OnePlace app, which is all about Christian teaching. And we close, as usual, with Warren's highlights from Talkback. Austin, how are you?
I'm good. A lot of things have been happening lately. We are getting some rain at last. So 2 days of nice rains are forecasted and are ongoing as we record. Also, there's a big political playground going on. Our full government is shaking. So anytime anything can happen.
Oh,
But things
sounds
are
exciting.
good. Yeah.
Sounds exciting.
It
Warren,
is.
what's going on the west coast of the US?
We are finally getting summer weather here. And believe it or not, I think today we're going to be up to like 88 or 89 degrees, something we haven't seen ever since this year started. And so it's kind of exciting to see that we're finally getting that summer weather. But other than that, things are going on well with us. And yesterday I went to a hardware store, Ace Hardware, and we kind of looked at those Blackstone, grills. Really nice for a blind kid, and I was so excited about it. So we got one. I wanted to get the other one that was a higher price, and the wife said no. But basically, they're the same thing. The only difference with these things is the fact that the higher one has like a cabinet and a little shelf and an air fryer. We already have an air fryer, but so that's the only difference. But it was a good thing. So it's going to be brought home here tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to cooking on it. Here's the blind kid, and I really like that grill. It's just one of those that you don't have the mess and all of that. So it makes it possible for a blind person to go out there and grill. So I'm looking forward to that grill.
Is that a barbecue outside grill or like an inside George Foreman type thing?
No, it's an outside grill. It's a big one, yeah, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's from this company called Blackstone. You go to restaurants, they use those in doing a lot of their cooking. So I'm glad we got that.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's go to Warren's house and eat some nice chicken.
Bit of steak. Actually, Warren overcooks his steak disgracefully. I have to cook my own, probably.
I hate chicken. I don't like chicken anyway, so.
Yeah, I like wings and thighs. I'm not.
I love wings. I could never have enough of those. But
I'm like you. I love wings, but hate chicken.
Yeah. I know it sounds stupid, but no. Chicken, please. No, not my food.
Boring chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lamb, steak, much better.
Yeah.
Austin, what's going on?
So for the announcements, we have got some announcements. The people at SuperSense are running a sale. So those of you who are subscribed to them have received a code. And also another announcement is GARG opened for non-US users of Android. So Warren, can you tell us more about the sale and about GARG?
So basically what's going on is that SuperSense has this 50% off lifetime subscription. I think that thing is $99, so about $100. So in other words, if you do a lifetime subscription, then you have 50% off. So basically, you're going to be getting that thing for about $50 or $50 to be precise. But or else, if you want the annual subscription, that one is 40% off, and that is on now until August 1st. That's when the sales would end, August 1st of this year. As for GARC, Google Accessibility Research Group, basically, if you sign up for that, you could get invited by Google to participate in some research that they are doing, be it Google Docs, be it Google Calendar, or whatever Google apps and things like that. So it's a good thing that has been opened up to people that are not within the US or within Canada. So if you've been wanting to be a participant in one of these things, I guess this is now the time to kind of jump on it. And we'll include that link in our show notes so that people will have the ability to join those programs.
And on the Google Accessibility Research Group, Warren, is that the Talkback Trusted Tester program, or is that something else?
No, it's not the Trusted Testers program. That one is only available to those within the US and Canada. I don't know what GARC would include, but my thinking probably it may include Talkback. I'm not sure on that front, but I think the best thing would be for one to join the program and see what comes down the pipe.
Just on the Talkback Trusted Testers program, if you are a US and Canada resident and you're not on that, how would you go about joining it?
It's that same page that where the GARC is. It has both. So you join it through that page.
Makes sense. Thank you. And now we turn to Android basics, and we continue our perambulation through the Settings app. And this week, it's all about display. Now, you might think, why do I really need to worry about display, especially if you are a totally blind Talkback user? But there are definitely some settings in here that you will want to be cognizant of and might want to change. Warren, do you want to kick us off with this one?
It's interesting you mentioned mentioned the fact about, one may say, hey, I'm blind. Why do I really need a display? But in reality, though, the display is everything that the phone is. Without that display, no one can use that phone, right? The reason why people are able to use that phone is because of the display. And whether we're blind or not, a lot of things actually depend on that display. That reminds me of a story that I want to tell. I think it was back in 2004, and I was in Jacksonville, or was it in 2005? I was there in Jacksonville during an ACB convention. And so we had people from Sprint that came and were talking about phone. Back in those days, we're looking for accessible phones. It wasn't a commonplace if you're not using a Nokia phone running, talks and all of that. But then Sprint was showing this phone, and then there came another one from the Code Factory guys. It was from Spain, I remember, but it was a phone without any display. I felt the phone, and I was saying to myself, what if something happens and the speech is not going on? How am I going to be able to have someone help me with this? And so I'm glad that phone didn't take hold. Ed, do you remember what that phone was? I'm trying to remember the name of it. Was it Capital? I don't remember the name of the phone, but
No, and I know the one you mean. I can't remember it either. But yeah, I
exactly.
do know the one you mean.
Yeah, and it just never took off. And of course, we need the display. And if you go into the display, whether you're blind or not, there's certain things here you can turn on. Maybe if you don't want your phone to be using the 120 hertz, for example, you could turn that feature off, and you could also turn on certain things off to improve your battery life and things like that. So display for us as blind people is not a useless thing. What do you guys have, or what do you guys think about displays? Are they necessary for us, or they're not necessary for us?
I think you need them for a couple of reasons. One, in case something goes wrong with the phone, and you need to be able to help someone fix it. If you somehow disabled your display and then something's crashed and you can't recover it to restore your display, then that's a problem. Other things as well. I know at one point the Kindle app wouldn't work on devices it didn't think weren't displays. So I know one of the note taker manufacturers had an issue with that. I think they fixed it eventually, but some apps will require a display, or at least think they do, in order to work. So yeah, I think you do need a display, and I think it's good. Whether there should be some sort of hardware way to disable it, although no one's going to do that, obviously, because most people who buy the phone won't want to disable their displays. That might be one thing, but yeah, disabling the display entirely, I think, is a difficult thing to want to do if that's going to be permanent and won't, for instance, cease to persist after a restart if you get yourself into difficulty.
It's interesting you mentioned the Kindle app thing, because in reality, so that's my argument. When one uses the Kindle, you are looking at the book. And so the app is even clever enough, intelligent enough to realize that, hey, you don't have a display on here. I'm not going to be able to work, because when I am working, you ought to be looking at me. And so if you're having a device that doesn't have a display, I'm not intended for use with a device without a display. So in reality, it's a very good thing that we have displays. So whether we are blind or not, we need that. And also, you can go in here and change as to how long it takes your screen to time off, because by default, what is it, like 1 minute or 30 seconds? And that, especially if you're just a learner or someone who's just starting with your phone, the time it takes it to shut off the screen may not even allow you to do anything that you really want to get done. And so the first thing in here, after setting up the phone, I think is to go in here and change that sleep time, or that shutting off of the screen from that 30-second default to something that is more manageable. I think for mine, even me, who is used to my screen and all of that, I actually set mine to 5 minutes. In that way, I can turn off the screen when I wanted it to, rather than having it turning off on me or timing out on me within 30 seconds. So it's important that we know how to go about these things. And there are certain things in here like adaptive brightness. If you want to set your brightness down to 0% or something of that sort, you want to go in and turn off that adaptive brightness and just manually pull down your brightness down to 0%. That will help you with your battery management if you have a phone that's running out of battery quickly. And so we have a lot of usage for the display where we could take advantage of it in helping us with our battery and other things as well, animations. And we should not forget about some of our brethren, most especially those who can see a little bit and can use the screen magnification and all of that. In here, you could change things like fonts, you could change things like the color and all of that. So in our blind world, the screen is still a very useful tool to us. It's not something we could discount with the wave of a hand.
I think the other couple of settings worthy of a mention in display is it's one way to get to the rotation screen lock. So if you either do or don't want your screen to flit between portrait and landscape, then you'll find that control in display as well. And obviously you can get to it other ways, but that's one way. I personally lock my phone in portrait. Not all apps respect it. Zoom doesn't, but it's very annoying when an app doesn't.
It is very annoying. Yes.
Yeah.
That's important. That's another thing that I do first after setting up my phone or getting to the home screen is to make sure I turn off that screen rotation. If there's an annoying thing, is that screen rotation, I don't need it. Of course, I know why some people may like it, especially sighted people watching videos and want to watch things in that landscape mode. Yeah, that makes sense. And of course, if you want to take a video or shoot videos or want to take a picture of people, large group, of course, you want to flip your phone into that landscape mode. But other than that, frankly, I don't see the need for me as a blind person or as an individual for having my screen rotating on me at will. I don't want that happening. It becomes annoying.
Yeah, I agree. So that's in display. The other thing that's in display as well is the display refresh rate, which you might want to look at because it can have a battery impact. So a lot of the phones say that they might have 90 or 120 hertz refresh rates. If it's 120 phone, it probably isn't set to it by default. You probably have to go and change it. It may be set on 60. Now, you might not want to change it because it's a massive increaser of battery. So, again, if you are finding that your battery is draining more quickly, go and see if your refresh rate is set to its lowest.
Very important. And of course, if the reason why we like these things is because, like I said, these things are made for the sighted world. We're always an afterthought. I'm sorry to say that, but the whole idea is that you want to see this beautiful looking screen with all that animation and all that. And so the higher the refresh rate, the better those things look. But if I'm not going to be using those things or not looking at those pretty babies on there or whatever the case may be, I probably want to leave mine at 60 hertz, and that's good enough. And of course, it kind of helps with not chewing up your battery as well. So if you're not going to be watching things that you want to take advantage of that refresh rate, I leave mine off. Even on my Pixel 6 Pro, that thing is turned off.
The best way to save battery on display is to turn it off using Talkback. The high display feature of Talkback, that is the best battery saver. We'll cover it in detail when we cover accessibility.
You're talking about a good old dimming of the screen. Yes, that's another good one.
Screen. Yeah.
That's another good one. Especially when we get to the accessibility, where one could even make things even better still with the talkback dimming of the screen.
That's right. And that's it for display settings. And now it's the App of the Week section, where Warren is going to demonstrate the OnePlace Christian app, which is a place to find all sorts of Christian teaching.
Hi, this is demonstrating OnePlace, or an EPLACE. OnePlace is an app meant for everything Christianity. In other words, this is supposed to be a central place where every Christian teaching, be it a sermon, Bible teaching, or whatever it is, podcasts, you name it, you'll find them here on OnePlace. Therefore, the app is supposed to be that central place where you can find every teaching that has to do with Christianity. Now, it's not necessarily true that every teaching is found here, because some prefer to have it on their own apps or their own websites. But OnePlace has majority, a lot of the teachers that you find. Now, I'm not sure if this is only here in North America, especially here in the States, but I know that all the teachers that I know here in the States are found here in this app called OnePlace. For today's demonstration, I am using my Pixel 6 Pro, running Android 13 Beta 3.2 and TalkBack 13.0. For speech services, I am using the Google Speech Services. I am on my home screen now and will navigate my way to the icon for OnePlace and will take you through the tour of the app and show you what it has and what it doesn't have. I'll now navigate my way to the icon.
OnePlace.
There it is, OnePlace. I'll tap here to activate.
OnePlace. Loading 3 period.
I am told it is
Good
loading.
enough. Pastor Robert Morris, vertical line, Pastor Robert Morris Ministries. Should women be pastors in the church? Part 2, James Caddis, vertical line, Light on the Hill. Dying for Change, Part 1, Chip Ingram.
So what happens is that when you launch OnePlace,
Broadcasting, Richard Ellis,
is that
vertical
there's
line.
a slideshow near the top of the screen,
New Life
and
Live,
it
June
moves
24th,
from one
2022. Steve Arterburn,
topic to
vertical line,
another
New Life of Your Storm, Part
across
1,
the top
Adrian
part
Rogers,
of the
vertical
screen.
line.
And
Weighing in
then
with God,
below
Content,
that,
Paul Sha-
then you'll have a lot of items here.
Page 8 of 39. Should women be pastors in the church? Part 2, James
Move my
Caddis.
finger down.
Walking in the Spirit, Jack Graham, PowerPoint, 2
Down.
of 98. Page, The Great Question, Are You the One? Tim Keller, Gospel in Life, 3 of 98.
So, like I said, near the top, you have that moving
Page 12 of
slideshow,
39.
and it says page X of 39. And once it
13 of
reaches
39.
page 39, then it starts all over again from page 1.
Page 14 of 39.
Now, at the bottom of the screen, from the
Page
right,
15
we've
of
got
39. More options, button, out of
more
list.
options,
Page
and
16
to the
of
left of
39.
that, there's a search button.
Search, button. Page 17 of 39.
And then to the very bottom left corner, we
Page
have
18 of Navigate up, button.
navigate up. And tapping
Page
on that
19
will
of
simply
39.
navigate you to home. Now, let's start though with the more options,
Page 20
as
of 39.
that is probably where you want to check to see how things are. There's
21
not
of
much in the way of settings or anything of that, but let's go ahead and
Page
tap on
22
the
of
more
39.
options near the bottom right and see what we have.
Page 23 of More options, button. Pop-up window. Rate OnePlace, in list.
Tapping on more options, the first item that we hear is to rate OnePlace on the Play Store. Below that we have
Salem App Store.
the Salem App Store.
Settings.
We got settings, and that's all that we have. Let's go ahead though and tap on the settings.
Settings. OnePlace. More options, button, out of list.
Tapping on settings, we hear more options, and that's the very button at the bottom right corner. However, I want to put my finger near the top of the screen so we see what the settings has. Starting from the top, we've got
Support.
we have support. Below that we have
Terms of service.
terms of service,
Contact OnePlace.
contact OnePlace,
Rate app.
rate the app.
Account actions.
We hear account actions,
Privacy options.
privacy options,
Login.
and
Version 6.2.2b 6,020,002.
the version. And that's all we have in the way of settings. The next thing to do is either to tap on the navigator tab at the very bottom left, or go back, or tap on more options at the bottom right as well. I'll just go back. Now I'm back to the main UI.
Page 25 of 39.
Next thing I want to do is to
Page
tap
27 of
on the
39.
search, and that's the second item from the bottom right.
Page 29 of 39.
That's the next button going from right to left.
Page
After more
31 of
options, we
39.
have the search. So I'll now tap on search.
Page 33 of 39. Search, button. Space, edit box, editing.
I do want to apologize because I can hear my dog
Page 6 of 39.
barking out there in the yard. Now I am in the search
Page 8 of
field,
39.
and I'm going to search for one of my favorite teachers. I'm going to
Page 10 of
find
39.
that assistant voice typing and let it rip.
Assistant voice typing. Page 20. Listening. Page
John
23 of 39.
MacArthur.
Page 20.
Search.
Page 26 of 39. Voice type keyboard hidden. Search executed. Search, button.
There we go. I'm done with my search, and now I'll put my finger near the top of the screen, and here's what we got. Putting my finger down near the very top of the screen, we hear
Topics.
Topics. And below that, if there are any topics that have to do with John MacArthur, it'll be listed directly below that topic. And if I move my finger down,
No related topics button.
no related topic because there's no such a topic called John MacArthur. The next item will be shows.
Shows.
And below the shows,
Grace to you, John MacArthur, in list.
we have Grace to You, John MacArthur. You can tap here and you will see all the shows or the podcast episodes from John MacArthur. And if you don't want to do that, then you keep moving your finger downward or swiping from left to right if you're a swiper.
Episodes, out of list.
And then there's episodes, and below that you'll have
Is John MacArthur wrong? Find $20,000 for Church Assembly, Generations Radio, in list.
move my finger down,
A Nation Under God. 2. Family Talk Weekends.
move my finger down,
Pro-lifer Randall Terry is on a bus tour against Joe Biden. Pray in Jesus' name news.
down.
A Nation Abandoned by God. Family.
So there are the things that are found under here, or if I go back and tap on under shows where it says Grace to You, for example,
Grace to you, John MacArthur.
tap there.
Latest episode, button, out of list.
And the first thing that we're highlighted here at the very top right corner is an icon that says latest episodes. If I tap on this, it will start to play. This is what I'm talking about.
Allow OnePlace to
Allowing it to access my files.
allow,
I
button,
say allow.
OnePlace.
Now at the bottom, we have some buttons. There are 2 rows. At the very bottom right, we have
More options, button.
that more options,
Search, button.
search,
Navigate up, button.
and navigate up. Now, there at the bottom, on the right hand, just above that area, we have the fast forward. And then to the left of that, we have the pause,
Pause,
which can be toggled to the play when you tap on it. That becomes
fast play, button.
play. And now below that, we have another row, and that has things like share,
Share, button.
share, and on the right corner,
Add to playlist,
we
button.
have add to playlist. Now, here's what happens. If I tap on add to playlist, for example, this is the screen that we get.
Sign in or create a new account to access episode archives, make your own playlist and follow your favorite shows. It's fast, easy and 100% free. We will use your account information to personalize your experience in the app. You will also get additional content from OnePlace and ministries you follow.
And then below that,
Email, edit box.
you could put in your email address that you've signed up with,
Password,
your
edit
password,
box. Sign up for our newsletter.
or sign up for our newsletter,
Login, button.
or login. Now, if you don't have an email address and you want to create a new one or sign in with one of those giant companies like Google or Facebook, then we have some 2 buttons here. We've got
Google sign in button, button.
Google sign in. You could sign in with Google
Detected. Icon, Facebook, button.
or Facebook,
New user, sign up.
or you could tap on New User Sign Up. So in other words, in order to be able to add things to your playlist or mark them as your favorites, you will need to be able to sign in first before you could do that. And in reality, that's it about OnePlace. You could search for names, search for topics or whatever, and be able to play it. Because, for example, now that I'm under Grace to You, if I scroll down and try to tap on something else,
The Cardiology of Worldliness number 2, John MacArthur, vertical
tap
line,
here.
Grace.
it's not going to let me play that other one or something from the archives, because the one that I was able to play was something that was for today's date that I'm recording this. But if I want to play anything other than what is being featured today, I can't play that without signing in. And that's why it says
Sign in or create a new account to access episode archives, make your own playlist and follow your favorite shows.
that same thing, taking me back to that place where I could either log in or sign up for an account to be able to access those archives. And that's it for OnePlace. ONEPLACE.
Thank you, Warren. And we close this week with highlights from Talkback.
We continue now with our theme of highlights from Talkback. This is installment 41. In our last installment 40, I discussed the double tapping with 3 fingers to copy. And this has to do with either whether you're editing or you're on a website and you find a block of text that you would like to copy. Once you engage that block of text, simply double tap with 3 fingers and it'll copy that to your clipboard. As we continue today, though, we'll be looking at a different gesture, and for today's demonstration, I am again using my Pixel 6 Pro with Android 13 Beta 3.2 and Talkback 13.0. For speech services, I am utilizing the Google Speech Services. I must say, however, that for a little over a month now, I've been using the Google Speech Services, and I must say that I'm actually liking it. So today's demonstration, I'll be using my Google Speech Services. I am on the home screen and will now activate the Talkback menu by tapping with 3 fingers to activate that Talkback menu, and then we'll proceed from there.
Talkback menu. Actions in list.
Here we are in the Talkback menu, and if this is your first time, what you're looking for here is an item that says Talkback Settings and is toward the bottom of the screen. I'll put my finger down and tap on Talkback Settings.
Talkback settings.
Here is Talkback Settings, and we want to tap here.
Talkback settings. Navigate up, button, out of list.
We are now in the Talkback Settings. And again, this time though, we want to put 2 fingers in the middle of the phone, gliding them upwards, which in turn scrolls down the page. I'll put 2 fingers in the middle of the phone and then glide my fingers upward to scroll down the page.
Showing items 7 to 18 of 18.
The next item that I'm looking for here is an item that says Customize Gestures. So in other words, you're looking for an item that says Customize Gestures. I'll put my finger down and tap on Customize Gestures.
Customize gestures.
Here is Customize Gestures. I'll tap here to activate.
Customize gestures, out of list.
I am now on the customization page for the gestures. This is the time that we will now switch our granularities to the headings granularity. In other words, whether you're in a word mode or character mode, lines mode, or paragraph mode, we need to switch our granularity, that is the mode with which we're using our Talkback, to the headings granularity. There are one of 3 methods of doing so. The first one, which I always prefer, is that up and down movement with 1 finger in one fluid movement to change my granularity. Or you could decide to swipe down with 3 fingers from the top, or from the left to right, or from right to left with 3 fingers. And that also would change your granularities. I believe that I already have mine set to headings, and once you have it set to the headings granularity, the next thing we want to do is simply swipe down with 1 finger at a time until we hear it say 3 fingers heading. I'll now swipe down till I get to the 3 finger heading gesture. Here we go.
1 finger, heading, in list.
Here's 1 finger. I'll swipe down again.
1 finger back and forth, heading.
Swipe down.
1 finger angle, heading. Showing items 7 to 17 of 51.
Swipe down.
2 fingers, heading. Showing items 17 to 26 of 51.
And now swipe down 1 more time to reach 3 finger heading.
3 fingers, heading. Showing items 26 to 36 of 51.
We are now on the 3 fingers heading. That is the 3 finger tap heading. And if you remember the other things that we had discussed under this heading, just as a refresher, these are the ones that we've so far discussed. We've discussed.
Tap with 3 fingers, open Talkback menu.
Then we had.
Tap and hold with 3 fingers, screen search.
And the last one we did in installment 40 alongside with episode 80 is.
Double tap with 3 fingers, copy.
That's the one about copying. The one I'm talking about today, however, has to do with the cutting. And this is what I'm talking about.
Double tap and hold with 3 fingers, cut.
Here it is. Double tap and hold with 3 fingers to cut. So in other words, it's almost similar to what we saw last week, and that would be double tapping with 3 fingers to copy, but instead of simply double tapping with 3 fingers, we double tap with 3 fingers and hold. So when you do that double tapping with 3 fingers, you need to hold your fingers in place, and that then in turn cuts whatever text you have in the edit field. This gesture is only going to work when you are in an editor. For example, if I'm using, say, Google Keep Notes or Microsoft Office Word or something to that effect, then once I have text in there, I should be able to double tap and hold to cut upon selecting the text. So first I have to select what I need to cut, and then double tapping and holding with 3 fingers will cut the selected text. I'll demonstrate this by navigating home or simply bringing up my Google Keep Notes from here by using the assistant. Open Keep Notes.
Keep notes. Search your notes, edit box.
Here I am in Keep Notes. I will now tap on the bottom right where it says New Text Note.
New text note button. Editing, note, edit box for note body, in list.
I am now in an
US
edit field, and what I'm going to do is to use my assistant to dictate some text.
Capital P, out of list, assistant voice typing. Listening.
Hello and welcome to Talkback Highlights, new paragraph. This is installment 41, new paragraph. I will be demonstrating how to copy or how to select and then cut using the Talkback gestures, period. Stop.
Voice typing stopped.
I just dictated a little text, and now put my finger down and hear what I dictated.
Editing, hello and welcome to Talkback Highlights. This is installment 41. I will be demonstrating how to copy or how to select and then cut using the Talkback gestures. Edit box, note for note body, in list, window keep notes.
There we go. And now whether I wanted to select the whole thing and then cut, or simply select one paragraph, for example, and cut that off, then we need to invoke the selection mode. If you remember how to invoke the selection mode, we double tap and hold with 2 fingers to enable or start the selection mode. So now I will double tap and hold with 2 fingers to enable the selection mode.
Selection mode on.
I am now on the selection mode, and remember at the end of my dictation, my cursor should be sitting at the end of the last word that I dictated. So now I'm going to change my granularity to say paragraphs or lines, for example, so that I can select the particular paragraph or lines that I want to cut. So now I'll swipe up and down with 1 finger till I get to either paragraph or lines granularity.
Spoken language. Speech rate. Windows. Links. Controls. Headings. Paragraphs.
I am now in the paragraph mode, and since my cursor is at the end of my dictation, I will select upward, that is swipe up with 1 finger upward to select backward through what I just dictated. So I'll swipe up with 1 finger.
I will be demonstrating how to copy or how to select and then cut using the Talkback gestures. Selected.
That's the last paragraph since I was navigating by paragraph. And now, in order to cut this, now I will double tap and hold with 3 fingers to cut. Here I go.
Cut. I will be demonstrating how to copy or how to select and then cut using the talkback gestures.
All right, and now I will stop the selection mode, and that will be double tapping and holding with 2 fingers.
Selection mode off. No text selected.
Now I'll put my finger down in the edit field.
Editing. Hello and welcome to Talkback Highlights. This is installment 41. Edit box, note for note body.
There you go, and that's how you go about cutting text that has been highlighted or selected in an edit field. So in other words, when you are in an editor and want to cut something that you've highlighted or selected, all that needs to happen is simply tapping with 3 fingers and holding, and that cuts it to your clipboard.
That's it from us, folks, this week. Austin, where can people find us?
For people to locate us, they can email us with their questions or feedback or comments or recording submissions to contact us at blindandroidusers.com. They can browse our website, blindandroidusers.com. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/blindandroidusers. Subscribe to our mailing list, Blind Android Users, plus subscribe at groups.io. The links for Telegram and Twitter, Clubhouse will be in the show notes with all the other links. So that is it from us this week.
We shall see you next week. Shall we say bye-bye to the nice people, folks?
Thank you guys so much for listening to us, and we appreciate you guys always. And I want to say bye from my end.
Bye to all the nice people listening to the podcast from 81 episodes.
Welcome to the Blind Android Users channel. This is your source for everything Android, tutorials and demos, all from a blindness perspective. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content like this.